Lucky Boys Podcast.
What are some others that stand out?
I mean, this is kind of jumping the gun here, but we're in R&D for 3 more flavors coming out early next year.
Can you share?
I'll tease one of them.
All right, for all you Sandro drinkers,
I'll tease
I'm doing this for y'all.
Well, one of the flavors we're going to be launching is Asian Pear.
Oh, I love Asian Pear.
Yeah, and again,
they're so expensive.
Yes, to a degree. Like when you're dealing with what we're learning, and this happens with Alfonso Mango as well, is when you buy them in a puree form and in bulk. Like we're buying now our lychee juice and mango juice and calamansi juice by literally like the container load. It actually comes down in cost pretty dramatically. A lot of it is the packaging, right? Like you buy an Asian Pear and it's got like the fancy styrofoam thing in front of it, or it's wrapped, or it's all that kind of stuff. So like a lot of it's the transport. But to us, like, that's another fruit where it's like when you just grow up and are based in the U.S., like, I think if we were to mention any kind of pear to an American, you would think, a Bartlett pear, like the brown one, right? Mm-hmm. Or a D'Anjou, or if you want to go a little fancier, the D'Anjous, like the lighter yellow ones. But they have that, that pear shape that everyone thinks about. Right. What we're basically saying with coming out with Asian pear is like, no, like this is a different kind of pear, but like,
it is the best pear.
I would agree. I mean,
you can't even compare. It is. You bite into an Asian pear, it's like, just think of like the juiciest pear you ever had, and it had a baby with like an apple or something, and it's just so damn juicy, flavorful, just the right amount of sweetness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The texture, the crunch. It's all there. It doesn't break down. It's not squishy like a regular pear, right? Yeah. It has more texture, more like an apple, but it's not as
tart.
Yeah, tart, yeah. And it's not, but it still has this pear kind of thing going on.
It's less grainy feeling.
That's it. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's like the perfect marriage of an apple on a pear.
It's so awesome. They have this, and anyone in the tri-state area, oh man, where is it in Jersey? I went to this a couple of years ago before COVID. I went Asian pear picking.
That's cool.
In Jersey, and it was, I was just destroying it. I must have ate like 3, and it's filling too, which is crazy. I had 3, and I was tapping out. I was like, man, I'm pretty full. It's healthy. Yep. And there's this thing in the Chinese culture called yi hei. Okay. It's like literally translated. What is it? Like hot air, right?
I mean, literal translation is hot air, but that's more like when you eat like so much unhealthy food, just feel like all that like.
Yeah, you feel like fire. You ever eat certain foods and you feel like a lot of fire inside? Like spicy is one of them, or
eat a whole bag of Doritos.
Fried foods. I guess Chinese people would label that as yi hei, and you have too much on that, your body's off balance, and that can cause like a lot of people to get sometimes like herpes to come out on their lips if they have herpes, or it can cause people to feel very off or dry or sick or even temperamental. They just feel off for whatever reason. And Asian pear is known as, I'm totally like marketing this for like all the Asian pear people sellers, but it's the truth. It does cool you down. It's the opposite
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep. And that's what a lot of Asian people look to eat full foods to cool your body down, so you're not in a state of yi hei.
Why I bring up Asian pear, because you asked about new flavors and other things that are out there. It's my general belief. It kind of goes back to the original thesis of the brand, is that we're representing flavors of literally 60% of the world's population, but whether it's supply chain stuff or other cultural stuff, just to me, it just never been given their proper due on American grocery shelves. But like, I do believe that Americans, like as anyone does, likes tasty things.
Sandro,
so
you're onto something
as
there.
As long as it's like delicious, and I guess the other part of it too is marketed properly, branded properly. In I think packaging, especially for what we do, is a huge component of why people will pick something up. If you get that right, it can hit, right? And to me, like, that's, to your point, there's so much out there. And again, I'm only gonna tease one. There's more that we're already in R&D for, but it's this argument to me about getting back to first principles, which is why hasn't Asian stuff taken hold, at least yet? It's like, we just maybe as a world, as a society, just haven't been ready for it. But now I think we are, right? A lot of the work that's been done over the last decade plus, whether it's food writers, restaurateurs, frankly, like social activists, to make our flavors more of a thing. Like I just remember now going into supermarket stores, the idea of seeing sriracha flavored potato chips,
Right.
gochujang flavored potato chips. Like it's crazy.
There's this untapped potential that you see it. You get little examples of pockets in there where you see a lot of non-Asians in, like, I remember when people had no idea what pho was or ramen, right? And they just thought it was just this little thing you add hot water to and it's a wrap, right? It's something that people in college eat, kids in college, cheap eats, right? But then it had this huge explosion when they really understood what good ramen was, when they really understood what pho was. It became an explosion where you even have people who are not Asian. I remember looking up on how to make my own pho and ramen at home, and it was some white YouTubers.
Was it good?
Yeah. Props to those white YouTubers. But then what made me go, at first I was like, wow. I mean, these guys got like millions of views on this. It must be good. And then tons of likes. So I was like, all right, so social proof. There you go. All right, let me give this a shot. And I'm listening to them talk and I'm like, wait, this actually makes sense. All right, so I could look past the fact that you're white and you're telling me how to make an Asian dish. So I went and did it. I was like, man, this is freaking delicious. That was pretty good, man. And then it made me go think on another level where I'm going, shit, this is going to be mainstream. And then it happened. Then you started seeing all of these pho restaurants and ramen restaurants outside of Chinatown into these hip areas where people eat. But then the problem was that now you're paying $20, $25 for a bowl of noodles, whereas where I used to pay $5 for the same exact thing.
Sure.
Except that you just got it, the decor looks nicer and when I look around, it's not Asians. But it just goes to show that there's a market out here that's untapped potential. And I think there will be an Asian explosion, not only in the form of entertainment, right, but in the form of our cultural identity and what people find valuable. And I think it's food. I think food is really going to be what's going to be the catalyst to start bridging us, kind of like what K-pop did for that part of the world. Yeah.
I mean, this is actually, I would say, really just the beginning, right? Like you said, it's the pinnacle. It's the beginning of exporting culture through food, essentially, right? Look at just the popularity itself of Thai food itself. It's one practically in every corner. If you think about it. Yeah. Vietnamese, if you used to tell people, hey, I want to bring you to this place with noodles, raw beef in there, but it's going to be delicious. Non-Asian, they're probably going to say no. Or I'm going to bring you to a place, which is ingenious still, where you're going to cook your own food.
Right? I think I saw Anthony Bourdain said this, and I think this sums it up pretty well. It's if you really want to understand someone's culture, eat their food.
Eat their food.